Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Sending emails from PHP on localhost used to be frustrating. In 2026, it doesn't have to be. In this video, we'll walk you through two professional approaches for sending emails from localhost using PHP. We will start with PHPmailer and Gmail SMTP, covering environmental variables, app passwords, SMTP configuration, and a clean real-world contact form setup. Then we move to a modern production grade alternative using Resend, an API-based email service that eliminates SMTP ports, Gmail restrictions, and common delivery issues. By the end of this video, you will understand both methods, know their limitations, and confidently choose the right solutions for your PHP project in 2026. So let's overview the entire project. This is the project structure we are working with. The root project name, Google provider. We have the PHPmailer. There's a link below for you to download PHPmailer from a GitHub repo. We have .env file. We have git ignore. We have index.html to display our form. We also have mail function.php to carry out the sending function. And also we have style.css. PHP default mail function doesn't work well on localhost because no mail server is installed. Gmail blocks insecure requests. Email often land in spam. So before writing any PHP code, Gmail must be ready. Gmail setup must be ready. Step 1. Go to Google account settings. Step 2. Enable two-step verification in your Google account. Step 3. Generate an app password. Step 4. Copy the 16-character password. This password replaces your real Gmail password. Never use the actual password in code. We store them in a .env file where we have the SMTP host, which is Gmail. We have the username, which is your email. We have the password, which is the app password, not your actual email password. And below we have the encryption, which is SMTP port 587. Also, we have another SMTP port, which is 465. Below that, we have email from address, which can be whatever address you wish to put there. We have email from name, which can also be the name you choose to put there. So let's go to the front end part of this project, the contact form. Our form lives in index.html. It collects email, subject, message, and sends everything to mail function.php using post method. You can see the form with the inputs, email, subject, message, and a button with the type submit. The styling in style.css makes it fully responsive and modern. Let's move to the mail function, where we get to include the PHPmailer class. Use PHPmailer and use PHPmailer exception. Below that, you get to see the connection to PHPmailer folder using require. We are going to be connecting to exception.php, phpMailer.php, and SMTP.php. Below that, we manually load the .env file. This keeps sensitive data out of your main code base using the load env function. So below that, we have the load env function called to load the function every time we send data. Below that, I created an if statement that receives the form data and sends an email using PHPmailer with a PayPal style HTML template. First, I had to call the PHPmailer instance, then do a try and catch for errors. This is where the magic happens. The server settings. Note, there's an important difference between port 587 and port 465. 587 is the modern standard. Next after that is to get the form data, subject, message, recipient email, recipient name. Below that, we have the reply tool, which is optional but recommended. And lastly, the HTML email template. This makes your emails look like real production systems. So let's test our project on a local host. I did a previous video on running PHP projects using VS Code by installing the VS Code extension PHP server. Once you've done that, it automatically opens the browser by clicking on PHP server. Fill the form, click send message, and check your inbox. I'm going to check my inbox to see if it worked. If this is successful, you get to see your email being delivered, no spam, secure SMTP, and a professional template. At this point, we've successfully sent emails from localhost using PHPmailer and Gmail SMTP. This approach still works, but it comes with limitations. SMTP configuration, app password management, and provider restrictions. So now let's take a step forward and look at how modern PHP applications handle email delivery in 2026. So why resend instead of SMTP? SMTP works, but it has downsides. Port blocking on some networks, Gmail security limitations, authentication issues, slower debugging, and more. Resend solves this by using REST API instead of SMTP. No PHPmailer SMTP config. Before touching the code, let's configure Resend. First, go to resend.com, sign up with your email, then verify your account. Once you're done with that, by the sidebar of your Resend dashboard, create an API key, click on Create API key, copy the key and keep it safe in .env file. This key replaces SMTP username and password when you use Gmail to send email. Resend does not allow random sender emails. You must either verify a domain or use Resend's test sender for development, which is resend.dev. So we are going to be using Resend test sender for development, which is support at resend.dev. This is what we will be using in our .env file where all Resend credentials live. Though when you have your own domain name, you could replace the resend.dev with the domain name you've bought from any hosting services. The front end stays almost identical to the Gmail version, which is email subject, message, and post request to send email resend.php. This time, no JavaScript required, simple and reliable. Then we have the REST PHP logic, where we have load function going to the part or being directed to the part of the env file, followed by validating email. We have the build HTML email template, which is more like the paper style layout, gradient header. I also prepared Resend API request using a variable named data, which is assigned to an array, using Resend API endpoint to send that data. And that's how to send emails from localhost using PHP in 2026. See you in the next one.